Okay, welcome everybody. It's November 22nd, just a few days from Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
You too.
Um, Today is the Issues Committee, and we got a few things on the agenda, and Dan is excused. He is busy right now. So I have a few things, as you saw on our agenda. We'll go through a few things. It isn't much.
Have you heard from anybody else?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So if you want to take roll, Vic, you can.
Okay. I'll do the obvious and then I'll try from memory to be sure of the others because I don't have a list right in front of me.
Well, I can tell you. So you want me to do it?
Well, John Barbera,
Yes.
David Rivera,
Here.
Cynthia Gagne. Not
Chuck.
gonna- Okay.
Chuck
Victor
Hart.
here. Dan Dixon, excused, you said.
Yeah.
Chuck Hart. Let's check, see if somebody's over in the attendees.
That's what I was looking at right now.
I don't see him there. And John Barbera, or sorry, John D'Amiglio. Don't see him. And I believe that's everybody.
Yep.
Okay, so we do have a quorum with 4.
Well, luckily we don't have anything special going on as of now, you know. David, I passed by your house and I saw you get in your car earlier.
You have a new car?
I was at no, he was in the garage, just open. I just turned and I saw his garage door open and David was leaning in on the driver's side, putting something in or something. And I go, hey, it's David, you know, so, but I was trying to get back home. I just got done. All right. So let me bring up the agenda. Really? Well, what happened here? Try this again. There we go. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
I'll make it just a pinch bigger. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Welcome and everybody's here. Thank you. Thank you, students. Now we'll go to public comment on non-agenda items. If anybody has anything they want to say, even the students, but panelists, anybody has anything they want to contribute or do or say? Don't all talk at one time. All right. Are there any students that have any comments that would like to say something or anything? Raise your hands if you do. And I don't see any hands, so we are good there. Okay. Well, then we'll move on. Item number 3, continued discussion of budget goals for our neighborhood. It's just something that we were talking about, Dan and I, you know, seeing what we need to do, if there's anything you guys know about, this is for you guys. If you see anything about, you know, what you'd like to see us, you know, try to get some budget or goals in there for what we need that needs something done. I don't know, tree trimming, this cut off, you know, any kind of street repairs, which I'll get into that later. I made a few connections this past month. So that's what that's going to be about. So if anybody has anything they want to, for next month, let us know about a week in advance before we do the, you know, the agenda, and we'll put it down on there. If you guys see anything you want, even by you, Cynthia, in your area, the gardens and anything, or David over at Taper there by the school, or any streets or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. Number 4, finally, I'll give you a little heads up on that. So, we started, remember last year before the Candy Cane Lane, Diana Costa, who owns the Pollyann Bakery, her and I got together. The lights, kind of like the lights that they have going up 5th and 6th and 7th, all down by Pacific, those nice bulbs hanging down, and they go zigzagging across the street. So what we did was, I guess it started falling apart over there with the wind, because it seems like, Weymouth Corners always gets hit pretty hard over there when it gets windy. So we were losing all the lights, and they were drooping down maybe 5, 6, 7 feet. Any truck could have hit them that went down there. So finally, it took us about 20,000 emails to Ryan and Jacob Hake and all of that they finally fixed them, replaced them, put bulbs in them, plugged them in, and re-wrapped them really good. So they're nice and tight on those lines now. And they just finished it last week. It's amazing. But we do have the lights all work nice and everything. But like I said, they're all nice and tight, so they're good. So Weymouth Corners is ready to go. Item number 5. You all know that the alleyways and stuff like that, we have potholes everywhere in alleys, and they look like an off-road section, as if you were taking your dune buggy out. I mean, some of those alleys were like moguls. They're all over the place. So the one by Weymouth Corners, that's between Averill and Weymouth Drive, that's the back alley that's there by starting with Perozzi's, and it goes all the way down to the end. And pretty big potholes. There's 1 or 2 of them that are like a foot deep, and one of them's like 1.5 feet. It's bad. So what happened was, a couple of the neighbors that are there, and I think it was like Lou's Carpet and Tile, he went in, got some DG gravel and filled them up with that, and then leveled it out and everything. So they've done that. But 5 and 6, I'm going to put together. That's the interaction with street services. And I had a big conversation, long conversation with them, because I wrote to them about a couple of things. If you go up Capitol and you get to Via Sebastian, you notice the stop sign on the right side there of the street, how the concrete is lifting up and that stop sign is crooked. It's leaning forward. There must be a route there or something, and it's raising it up, and I've told them about it. So we'll see how long. It's been 3 weeks now that I put the report in to 311. And I put a couple of others for that alley to be fixed up, at least seal the potholes. And they also replaced the stop sign that was on Park Western and Via Sebastian. It's in that little diamond, that little triangle island at the stop sign. So they fixed it. They came that same day, because I did it at 8:30 in the morning, got a hold of them, told them. And by 12 o'clock, 12:30, the new sign was up. I went by there yesterday. It's on the ground again, the new sign. Somebody hit it, So I'm going to put my 2 cents into that and tell them, maybe you should put some solid metal posts around, like 3, that way, at least if they hit it, they'll smash their bumpers or front end or anything, and we'll have to worry about the poor sign being down. But that's one of the things. And I was talking to, have a pretty decent connection with one guy over there. And he was telling me, and we talked about the alleyways and all these alleys that are so bad by Holy Trinity and all over. So this was a beautiful discussion. And here's what he told me. Well, we know about them. We did surveys on them, 6 to 7 to 8 years ago. And we have, if you're ready for this, he goes, there's a list, and we pull numbers, and when it passes like 7, 8 years, we get to it. And I go, why do you wait that long? He says, because there's numbers, and they all have a number from 1 to 100, and that's how we repair them. So if, let's say there's the one alley on, like, between Patton and, by Holy Trinity, right? He goes, well, that alley will get fixed. And then it could be an alley over on Gaffey and First Street. That's the next one that gets fixed. They're not going to come out and repave the complete alley. They have already a set list of that's been done years already. And they're just working them one by one as they go along. And I'll give you another example. If you've come down from Channel, whether you're going towards Gaffey or you're just coming up from Gaffey and you make a right or a left onto Myler, and you come down the hill and like you're going to my place there on Gatun. Well, right on Gatun, if you come down Myler and it's right at the bottom there at Gatun, they put a stop sign 3 weeks ago there. We didn't know anything about it. Dan's asking me and people are asking, even Craig Goldfarb says, why is that sign? How did you get? I said, we didn't know anything about it. So the gentleman that I've been talking to, I asked him and I said, they put a stop sign over there. And he said, yeah, we did a survey 8 years ago. We had the little, the box, you know, with the tubing, and they ran over to see, and we noticed a lot of traffic coming there, and, you know, it was pretty fast coming down the hill. And I said, what? He goes, yeah. So 8 years ago, we knew about it, and it came up that it was time for us to put the stop sign in. So no matter what we do with this stuff, it's going to take them years to get to it by the time they get to it. But at least we have that. And also, Dan and I, tomorrow, we're going to try, if they're there. I don't know if you know this, but where YNS Auto Body is, right across the street, is Street Services. They have an office there. I never knew that. Did you guys know that? Anybody? Yeah, there is a street service department right there, and there's a supervisor or GM that's in there and works out of that office. So Dan and I are going to go take and have a talk with them and find out what we can do to maybe speed up or take some of the worst alleys that are bad, and let's get them on the list to start repairing some of this stuff and repair some of these sidewalks that people, you know, that skateboarders use as a ramp, you know, and people falling over and, you know, breaking a leg, a knee, a brain, you know. It's just not right. So, yeah, their priorities, I guess, are not, in fact, not so good, because the last conversation I had 4 or 5 months ago with one of the guys, and he says, well, look, maybe it costs us $30-40 million a year in lawsuits, you know, but to repair all the trees under sidewalks, or, you know, it's going to be more money. And that's their logic, you know. So you guys have any input you want us to look into with them? Cynthia? Unmute.
Yeah, if it's 8 years ago they did the survey, that's fine. But they should be updating their survey by going to see the streets that they intend to repair within a year or two before that, instead of relying on 8-year-old information. And is it a lottery? Did you say it's just a lottery? They have
Exactly, it is a lottery.
Well, that's silly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lawsuit in and of itself, because you might have a street that's really bad. They didn't look at it for 9 years, and yet they repair this other one that's okay. Hardly anyone uses it, and they're going to get sued if people get hurt on the other one, if they find out it's a lottery.
Well, here's the bad part. Some of these sidewalks, you know, that are so bad, they are getting sued for them pretty bad. But why wouldn't you fix I mean, what does it take? Okay, maybe the tree is old. Okay, maybe we'd take a beating from Gwen, you know, save the tree. But
No, for me too.
Yeah, but if the tree is
you don't have to cut the root. All you have to do is just make the sidewalk different. That's cheaper than, you know, damaging the tree, than having to take the tree out again too.
Well, true. I mean, but some of the roots are pretty tall on some of these. Dan and I went around, and David could tell you too, we had pictures before. Some of these trees are pretty bad. I mean, there's some sidewalks that a 4 or 5-year-old kid can crawl inside under the sidewalk. I'm sorry, to me, that is very dangerous to have a kid that's in there and they don't know something. He's stuck and he can't get out. He's screaming his head off. And if nobody's walking the street, I mean, it's not good. So some things, the tree won't die if you cut a couple of roots there. And then
Depends how they cut,
you know,
what they do, and if it
it
gets
depends how they do it.
bugs
But
and stuff.
if they know their trees and they're very well informed on,
That's just a big if for a
Yeah,
beautiful old tree, and we
Yeah.
need our trees because we need it to cool our air down. So we don't
no,
get,
that's true, that's true. Then they should be able to go in there and make this, if they have to, that, make it nice and like a little bridge dome or
right,
something.
that's what I'm thinking. They have an arborist, he would know how to do it.
Yeah, and it is, but, and then some trees are like leaning in the street, they're leaning that at any time they can come down. So when it's like that, I believe, okay, it's served its purpose. And Cynthia, here's what you do. You
Well, if
take
it's
it out,
leaning, that's different than just root.
but you get that tree out of there and you plant another one.
Right,
have-
but they haven't been doing stuff like that.
No,
Or
they
watching
haven't.
the trees. I mean, out when you get on the 110 off of Diana Street, when try go under the bridge area, they
Yeah.
plant a whole bunch of palm trees, and over the year they let them die, and then they plant more. That's such a waste of our taxpayers'
Well,
money.
That's another
They don't
subject.
even take care of the trees. Like,
No rain.
no, they
no
put
water.
it in because we tell them to put it in, and then they just don't even water it, and they say, so what?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do to us? Who cares?
Right, right. But that's one of the things that the way they operate. So we want to, Dan and I will get more information and have something better in December.
Sick Gwen on them. Sure.
And then if you have any others, that you got some other ideas you'd like to look into, or if you guys can check it out, David, make some phone calls in the area, see what's, if you know of anything, and we need to work together. We really
Maybe
do.
we can
That's
go
what
to one
Dan
of
and
their
I.
meetings. Do they have open meetings?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna find out. If
Oh,
they do
right.
have any kind of, but then we also would like to invite them, like we did one of the guys before, like another person. But the other thing is we have a new DOT person too. The lady is no longer in charge of DOT. It's another, his name is Quan Ni, or Quan Nu. I got his email. I'm gonna email him. And I'd like to see what, if, I don't know, in December, but maybe January, have them come to the issues commit meeting and give us a little presentation and something, and explain how the DOT works on all of this stuff with, better answers,
Yep, that would be good.
Scooter.
Okay. That's what my dog's asking me too. He wants
Yeah,
a-
I've got a Maltese and he goes nuts when my wife is home.
Ah,
He's like a little kid. Yeah, so we need to find out. That's one of the things that we want to work on and stuff like that.
Okay.
All of that. So,
And the stop sign, can the stop sign be relocated just a little bit out of the way of the route? That would be cheaper and easier to just do that.
well, that, we don't know how that route is, but I think that route is just right below the stop, the pole. And it's whatchamacallit, the way it, because it's actually like this. If this is the sidewalk here, it's actually up 5-6 inches. And the stop sign pole now is leaning forward towards Daffy.
You can actually just bend the pole and it'll straighten right up. That would.
Yeah,
take-
well, but it's coming up. It's gonna get worse. So could be a bush root, or maybe a root from a bush that's lit, but I got them to look into it. So hopefully they'll get out there and look
Okay.
at it pretty
Thank
soon.
you.
The next thing is parking and traffic. We want to know, we know on Westmont, we have a, bunch of trucks there and this and that. More of the trucks that, for hauling and all of that. We need more info. And in some of the other areas, like on Western or Park Western, we need to see if we're out and about, talk to people, how's traffic here and there? Do you see anything or any other traffic problems to, let's bring it up, and then we can try to bring it up in the next meeting in December. Did I lose them both? I lost everybody, Vic. Cynthia? Okay. Oh, there's David. Okay. All right. So anyway, like I said, the traffic is, on this next one here on this number 7, parking and traffic. Let's see if we can do a little homework for next month. Okay. And anywhere that you see that there's a lot of traffic, and I know that, David, I know that where Taper School is, I know they've got a lot of, is the traffic okay? Are they handling it okay? Or does it look out of balance to you?
Nah, everything keeps on moving.
Does it get crowded, or is it over?
No, just in the mornings and the afternoons when, school starts and school ends, that's when you have all the heavy traffic.
Okay. Vic?
Yeah, sometimes it's moving faster than it should because we get a lot of running stop signs at Amelia and Westmont.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, I noticed a lot more truckers, haulers are out there on Westmont. I remember, not too long ago, there used to be 4 or 5 trucks, maybe 5. And I'm noticing now anywhere between 7 and 10 trucks on a daily basis. That's a lot of truckers, haulers there. And like we said before, I've seen them, like today I went to, Home Depot, and I picked up, I had to pick up an item, a Rainbird. And I was turning out, that's when I went down your street, because I go that way, it's quicker for me. And here's 2 guys on lawn chairs just kicking back, right, with their feet up inside, and they're like almost in the lane there that a car can hit them. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, but it's things like that. So if you see that, if you guys are driving by, take a picture of them. Take some pictures, if you do, for me, that shows them sitting out there like that in the middle of, because that's a safety issue.
I mentioned that the last meeting we had with the board, that people were doing that.
Right.
I almost hit one. He just came out between the trucks and just sat down, at the chair with all these other guys.
And
And I
that's what
was
we
trying
gotta
to-
do.
Get in the other lane to make a right.
Yeah, and that's what we have to do. We'll have to look into that. I mean, right now, I know the holidays, but we've got some things that we got to look into, because one of them is they're not repairing stuff quick enough. And there's a lot of stuff that's endangered, for people. And the last thing we need, because if one of those Hispanic guys get hit, they're going to make a big, how the city is. They're going to sit there and go, fine, no more parking over there. And that's it. They'll just put no stopping at any time and this and that. And it's, which I think they should have that already, because, and Home Depot doesn't use like the back half. You know how the parking lot where on Home Depot, the spot that's butts right up against Westmont, right? Just have them pull in there, back up their trucks and be inside. At least it's safer that way than to be parked out there. I think it's just, I think and some of those trucks are wide enough that they go kind of double out, but is that a bike lane in there? I never noticed.
Yes. It's supposed to be a bike lane
It is.
all the way down. Yes, it is.
Yeah. See,
There is a bike lane there, and I personally haven't seen them into the motor vehicle lane, but I have seen them in the bike lane on a regular basis.
yeah.
But the,
So we
but the
need-
bike lane goes into the regular lane anyway, all the way down, because it goes all the way down to Gaffey. So essentially it is both bike and traffic they're sitting in.
So isn't that one of the laws that we're blocking a bike lane, a bike path?
Could be, yeah.
I believe it is, and I'm not sure the bike lane goes all the way down. I think when it hits the red curb, the lined bike lane ends, and then there's no lines at all until you get to the turn lanes, and the red curb is there.
Right, but the bikes, I think the bikes have to share that same line with the traffic at that time. They kind of
Well,
merge.
yeah. At that point, they would have to share traffic, but there's not a designated bike lane.
No, but the whole thing is,
Curb.
the whole thing is that they shouldn't be parking where even the traffic is merging, that's even more dangerous, parking
Yeah,
just
of course.
before that, because you can't see. They're in the way, like you said, John,
Yeah.
really big trucks are wide. They're like double wide trucks.
No, they are. Hey, so if maybe one of you guys, you're in that area, can somebody at night when the trucks are gone, can we take some pictures of the lanes to show that it is a bike path and where the red curb starts?
I'll do it with David.
Yeah, but let's do it when they're gone, when they're not parked there, I
Well,
don't,
like now it's dark.
yeah, I don't think anybody probably be out there waiting for
Usually,
anybody.
they usually go when it's dark.
Yeah, that's what I would think. I don't think anybody's out there cleaning up dandelions at 6 o'clock at night in the dark. So. But what we ought to do is just get in there and take some photos of it, because every little bit that we can get it, and you guys can send them to me via phone, that I can show when we go talk to this guy that's over here at the street services, and go, look, we got a problem here. These guys park there. It's a bike lane and they're there. They stick out. They do this. You tell us what we need to do. We're here to help you guys. We're here to stop an accident from happening. So, work with us. We're trying to work with everybody here in the city. So work with us. That's our main key is, like Ray said, we need to work with everybody. Same thing with Dean Deadman and all that, to work with them on how can we get Rexon Park to do this and that. And, some of the things, I talked to somebody the other day and they're going like, why don't they just call it Parks and Recreation? Like most places are. And I asked him, and that's what I told this person. I said, you understand what Rexon Park is and Parks and Rec? Well, they're in the same vicinity. So why don't they did what they determine which is what, some parks are this. I said, no, county and city. That's what it means. Rexon Park is city, Parks and Rec is county. That's, how they split that up. But I said, are there many parks? Yeah, there's a lot of parks in here. And then the other question was that the person asked me was, well, how can you have 500 parks and you only got 30 rangers? Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I said, let me ask you this. If you became a ranger, I said, you did the same. I said, you didn't go to our town hall meeting, so you don't know. I said, let's say you hire 10 more rangers. So they've done the same exact study, 6 months as a police officer. They train them with a gun. They train them in the car. They go out on patrols. They do the whole 9 yards. They do the same hard training that a police officer does. Well, then why? They don't give them guns. They give them a taser and they give them some, pepper spray. And I said to them just like this, I said, would you go up to a guy that's shooting a gun in the park and start killing people, and you're going to go up to him with a taser that you need to be up close, which you would never get as close to the guy you can with the gun that he's shooting at you? And I said, that's why a lot of the rangers quit and go to the police force. If there's an opening, they've got the training, they'll take them. So we do. So I think rangers ought to be, they should have guns. They go through the whole thing, let them have. I didn't know this until today. Did you know that the park rangers used to have guns when they first started 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Mhm.
Yeah, I found out today through a person that worked for Janice Hahn. She happened to be at the Assistance League over at the gift shop. And they were saying, yeah, our rangers used to have guns, back in the 70s and all, but somewhere in the 80s, they took them away. Why? It's just ridiculous. I mean, if you don't have anything to protect yourself, why are you going to go up there and the guy's got a gun? I mean, I'm not going to go there with some pepper spray or tell the guy, can you get a little closer? I need to shoot this taser at you. It's not going to go that far. So, it's things like that. So, but, does anybody have anything to add to parking and safety and all that? Traffic? No? Okay. So, yeah, if you guys can do that, I know it's just you guys here, and I'm sorry that the others aren't here, but if you talk to Chuck, David, maybe you could explain that to him. Maybe if he comes up with then, he's got some spot, just write it down and then, send me it via email.
Okay,
And then we'll get it on. Dan and I will go check it out. You tell us, you say, hey, John, Dan, over here on, on 8th Street, between Gaffey and Weymouth, or, between Gaffey and Western, we got some parking issues there that, whatever it is, just let me know. And even up by here too. So I know Melanie's working on one that some people are complaining about the trucks parking on Capitol behind our houses. Where I'm at there on Gatun, where Lori is, on our back wall, there's a couple of 2-3 semis sometimes that'll park there overnight. And, that's not kosher. So, there's gotta be a facility or a place for them. And if they have to, there's plenty of spots they can, if they have to go, So, item number 8, Dan wrote down, he wanted a few moments on gratitude and looking ahead. So we just kind of covered that. So if there's anything, thanks for everybody for helping and participating and everything we do. And if we have some, some stuff to move ahead in the next couple of months that we could put on the agenda, we can do that. And there's some, we got some time for comments. I knew this was going to be a short. I told Dan, I said it was going to be short. There wasn't going to be a much of a meeting. But if you have anything that you know of and you want to, say anything, or like I said, just give us a heads up on anything, and we could do that we can put forward in December and in January. We need to get moving now. It's the new year, and let's see if what we can do and try to get, and I'm sure Tim McCosker will get with him and he'll be working on some stuff, and I'm sure he'll get a lot of bitching from us, as they say, he'll kind of hear it. So, yeah, if there's anything that we need to do, would be great. Do we know when did I say? Oh yeah, December 27th. Thanks. So as any of I need to see now, as I notice some more people. I'm going to take, can I show a hands on the students again? Looks like there's a few more of you. If you could all click on the hand down
Yeah.
below where it says raise the hand. Yep.
7.
Is that all the students? I think there's more. Isabella, Isaiah, and Jose Rosas. Are you guys students also? If you are, Jose, raise your hand. It's at the bottom of your screen, Jose, where it says raise hand. You click on it. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll take the picture anyway.
Yeah.
I'll give this all to Melanie. Okay, guys, you can lower your hands. Any of the students, do you have any questions or comments you'd like to make on any of the topics we had tonight? You can keep your hand up and then I'll call you guys one at a time. All right, Hernandez, Ariana, you want to go first? You can unmute your mic. Unmute your mic, Ariana. Vic, can we do that? Can I unmute her, Vic?
Hi, sorry. I just meant to lower my hand. It wasn't working for me. I didn't have a question.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Does any of the other students have any questions they want to ask us? Any comments to the board? No? Okay. Well, we have all your names. I will give them to Melanie and she will take care of it and to give you guys the credit. Do we have anything else? Anybody has any last minute say so, panel?
Oh,
Nothing?
no.
Okay. Well, let me make this meeting adjourned and say something. Well, thank you, everybody. Students, thank you for coming. We appreciate your support and everything. And we hope to see you next time, next month on the 27th of December. That'll be our next meeting. And we'll have some, hopefully some new stuff and some more information on some of the topics we talked about tonight. All right, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Students,
Yeah.
don't eat too much.
Okay.